Hi everyone, I'm Anita Sharma. Welcome to Market Call tonight. Our special guest is Jaime Carrasco. He's a portfolio manager at Canaccord Genuity, taking your calls, emails, and tweets on precious metals. What a day to be here. Pipelines, utilities, REITs, dividend-paying stocks, it's all here. Calls toll-free, 1-855-326-6266. Our email address, marketcall@bnnbloomberg.ca. We know you're all on the Twitter, at Market Call. Jaime, what's your Twitter handle?
IJ Carrasco.
Okay, there you go. Welcome back.
Thank you.
What a day to be here.
Thanks for having me back.
Beat your chest a little bit, pump your chest. Gold making quite the run up. What's going on?
Well, I think it finally broke out. It's above 1350. I think it's signaling the dislocation or the uncertainty that I've been expecting all along.
You've been talking about this for quite some time.
I have been. And the more important thing is that, and my mantra throughout this period has always been, the longer it takes, the bigger the fiscal mess, because there is a connection to debt and gold and money. The bigger, the higher it's going to go once it breaks out. It broke the 1350 mark finally, and in Canadian dollars, actually, it's very important because it's at an all-time high. It's at 1950, I believe, tonight. And because of that, the three currencies I always follow is the Chilean peso, which is at an all-time high again. Canada is an all-time high. Australia an all-time high. And now it's finally following the U.S. dollar. But I think the bigger picture is the dislocation within the currencies and the currency issues. Now, is it all a game? Is it all a facade? I followed from a historical perspective. And one of the things, Ray Dalio came out a couple of weeks ago.
Very bullish on gold.
Very bullish, but what he was saying was we're facing a paradigm shift.
Right.
And that's the currency reserve shift that I keep talking about. Historically, when we get to these levels of debt, the only way to do it, it's important to understand that all this debt is mostly priced in U.S. dollars. So governments, and I think Trump understands this, he said it before, they don't really default on their debt. All they do is devalue that debt. He's calling for MAGA, Make America Great Again, which really means bring labor back to the U.S. But look at what's happening. Labor's leaving China, but it's going to Vietnam, it's going to Malaysia. It's not coming to the U.S. It's not going to come until you can lower the cost of labor to a very, very low level. Now, look at Judy Shelton, who has been promoted to, or he's trying to get her into the Fed, but what is her point? We got to go back to a sound money system. I think that's very healthy because that is what's needed. You know, there's greater and greater mention of where we're playing the 30s. The key event, the main event of the 30s was the fact that the currency reserve transferred from the sterling, under which all the debts were written, over to the U.S. dollar, backed by 8,900 tons of gold. The way I see it today, and I've been mentioning this a while, the Chinese government keeps telling that they have 1,800 tons within their coffers, the central bank. However, they have transferred almost 20,000 tons since 2008. You know, that's an important factor because those 20,000 tons are sitting within their banking system, which now is in trouble. So I see all of the pieces of the puzzle, if you look at this as a chess game. That paradigm shift is taking place. Trump is talking about it, even though he tweets about killing the dollar, but then after he says, oh no, we want a strong dollar. So there's a lot of missed messages. But if you look at how the pieces of the puzzle are shaping up, I think gold within the monetary system, and by the way, they again have been the biggest buyers of physical gold over the central banks I'm talking about,
Russia,
and central banks for the last 2 years now.
Let's talk a little bit about yesterday, because I got to be honest with you, a lot of folks, myself included, a little bit spooked from yesterday's trading. Of course, Canada, we had the day off, but we got to see our friends south of the border really get hammered, down off some 700 points. China basically saying, just at that day, I don't know if it's a long-term situation, but for yesterday, they gave us a taste of what it's like if they decide not to prop up the yuan. Is this just early innings of what we can expect as far as this trade battle ramping up? And I ask you this in the guise of where can gold go? We just looked at gold. It looks like it's now approaching $1,500.
Very quickly.
Very quickly. I just remember when we were talking about it potentially crossing 1350. Where do you see gold? Give me a 6 month, 1 year.
You know what? I'm not going to give you a 6 month because I've been telling you it was going higher for the last 4 years and continue to add your position. I think it's going much higher because it has to go in order to equate. If you follow gold as a monetary system, within the monetary system, it has to rise on the asset side of the equation to offset the debts. The guys that have done those numbers, they say it's much higher than current prices. So I'm betting on much higher gold prices. What's important, though, and what you're talking about is volatility. We have to understand how to manage through volatility. Tony Dwyer, our chief of strategies for Canaccord, was on today, and he was saying that he expects the market to go a lot higher. I don't disagree with that because I see what's going on very similar to the Weimar Republic. Money's coming out of, money's flooding out of different sectors. The bond market. You have $14 trillion of negative yielding securities, which
unbelievable.
means I'm going to lend you money.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're going to lend me money, but I'm going to pay you back less than you lend me.
Right.
That's crazy. It's never happened.
It's
right?
never happened.
So money's coming out and it's seeking safety. So if you look at Germany during the Weimar Republic, the stock market went through the roof, but the currency was devaluing. So I think what's important is a process on how to manage through all this, and that's where asset allocation, which we can talk a bit later, comes in hand, because it's really helped me manage through this bottom in the gold prices and a way to add more companies at good prices.
Okay, we'll definitely ask you about asset allocation, but let's wrap up this segment. I know there are a lot of folks that are just waiting to speak with you, Jaime. Thanks for coming back. Jaime Carrasco is a portfolio manager at Canaccord Genuity. We're on precious metals, pipelines, utilities, REITs, dividend-paying stocks. Get your calls in, 1-855-326-6266. With Jaime Carrasco. All right, let's get to your past picks. Franco-Nevada earning you a sweet 31%.
Again, Franco-Nevada continues to be one of my steadfast companies. This goes in every portfolio, including my mother's portfolio, because it pays a dividend. It's actually, I love it's not a producer, it's a streamer.
Right.
And it's not just gold, it's a number of others, but it's overweighted to gold. What I like about this company is that it's a steady cash flow, and it has a really good formula that the dividend will increase as the price of the commodity goes up. So it gives me that benefit. Now this one I overweighed through those years of down cycle, and it kept its value. Now I'm underweighing it and loading up on the producers, which are going to have the leverage. So the streamers on the way down, they were the place to be, right? Now that things are finally breaking up, I want to participate in the expansion of earnings and reserves on the ground. And that's where the other companies are going to benefit better. So I'm starting to switch out of those into the streamers and into the producers.
Let's get to Detour Gold, earning you an even better return here, 112%.
And we bought it cheap, right? And again, this is one that on the way, I don't know how it's sitting within the portfolio right now, but on the way down, it was one that as we were taking money out of Franco-Nevada, we kept averaging down the average cost.
Right.
What's interesting is that within the precious metals portfolio now, and within the income portfolio, the average cost of all the companies we own are lower than the price at which they're trading now, so we're in the green. But the benefit of it was that asset allocation model that was allowing us that even within the precious metals portfolio, we were taking money out of the winners like North American Palladium, which I think we're going to talk about later.
We are, yeah.
And we were buying into the ones that were coming down. Just the fact that the price are down doesn't mean that I don't like them. It just means that they're cheap and they're underloved. That's a great time to be buying, but you need a strategy that allows you to actually acquire more at that period. The other thing about Detour that I really like is, and with the next one, is the fact that the big players that are coming in that are choosing the stocks I chose. So we have Hank Paulson, who owns a big chunk of Detour today, and I think that's also one of the reasons why it's moving. I get in before him, but it's nice to see that we have some big Wall Street players doing the same stock picking as I am.
Well, let's get to the one you teased. We'll round this out with America Silver, down 3%. When does silver partake in the rally, Jaime?
America Silver is my favorite company.
Okay.
This is my personal biggest position because of the leverage it has. One of the things, management. These guys, Darren Blasutti, the guy that's running this company, and his team are the M&A team that came out of Barrick. They came out of here and they said, you know what, we're going to redo everything on our own, and they've been acquiring companies. What's amazing about this company is that throughout this period, they've been able to, this is the only junior that actually has been buying a company. They bought out Pershing. As a shareholder, now we have Pierre Lassonde, who is the second biggest holder. Sandstorm is the first shareholder. Eric Sprott just took a big position in it. So to me, that's great. I think they see the same thing. It's not only silver anymore. Now we have Pershing, and we should be pouring gold this year. So we're also going to be a gold producer. One of the beauties of this company and why I love it is the fact that throughout this whole period, they've been mining the low-grade rock, which is full of lead and zinc. So everybody's saying, you know, I heard a couple of analysts say to me, well, they're a base producer. Well, that's because they're saving the high grade. So what's going to happen is Darren's waiting till they get to $22 silver, and then they're going to go from mining 6 grand per ton to mining 35 grand per ton rock, which is in the mine. They just haven't touched it. Most of the other companies have been mining their high grade to stay alive. These guys haven't. So I think the execution, exactly, the execution in this company is unbelievable, and we're going to have a quarter where earnings are going to go up about 300%. And people are going to be, well, what's going on? All that's going on is they're mining the good rock. So I'm extremely happy with this company, and I'm very happy with the position I've been able to accumulate over the last 2-3 years. And the average cost now is below in the $3 range, so most everybody's in the money now.
Okay, so you're just playing the waiting game here.
Correct.
All right, let's take another break here. We know our viewers are waiting to speak with you as well. Jaime Carrasco is a portfolio manager at Canaccord Genuity. We're on precious metals, pipelines, utilities, REITs, dividend-paying stocks. Call us toll-free, 1-855-326-6266. All right, how ironic. America Silver for a top pick. It wasn't your top. It was far from your top performer, but you're bullish on this. You're waiting for a breakout.
Continues to be. I think America Silver, what management has delivered, will get recognized. Big players are coming into this stock. Pierre Lassonde, one of Canada's top mine builders, is #2 shareholder. And they will continue to deliver on everything, growth, production, leverage, and one of the few juniors that continues to acquire companies. So I'm very excited about USA going forward.
All right, and you're very excited also about Orion Resources.
Okay, for the people that had asked for a
yes.
earlier.
You've answered everybody's questions now.
Orion Resources is the more exciting part of this, which is exploration. These guys are sitting in Finland on what could be the type of discoveries that we used to see, like Kirkland, the original Kirkland, the big finds that you would find at surface. Like we're talking 300 grams per ton at surface. They're just starting to drill it out. More and more drilling results are going to continue to come in. If they stay at the same pace, they're going to add ounces very quickly. And we're talking about big ounces. So I'm very excited about this. Eric Sprott just took a 5% position. Kinross is at, sorry, not Kinross. I got this wrong, but one of the big miners is already at 9.9. Newmont is at 4.5. So big players are coming to see. I think this will eventually be gone because this is one of those discoveries that we just don't find anymore.
Okay, let's round this up with Chiron Life Sciences.
Well, Chiron is on the weed side. I've been playing. I was late to the grower side. The canopy, Canaccord was in there, and
you waiting for the problems to all shake out there?
Well, no, I see that as that I've missed that wave. What I've been playing is the extractors, the guys that are extracting it. But what these guys are producers out of Latin America, in Chile. They're growing in Colombia, so they don't really have to grow indoors. There's no square footage. They just have land, and in Colombia, growing is very easy. It's funny because Chiron is being recognized kind of like Kleenex. It's the name for the dispensaries now in Colombia. Their name is getting a lot of traction. So massive sales are going into Europe, but mostly in Latin America. So it's one that I think it's at that point where the canopies were a couple of years ago. And by the way, that's where the extractors, like the Valens and Halo, those guys are in that side as well, where we're going to have earnings pickup still to happen. Charlotte's Web is a great example of that, right? Especially as the plant itself, the chemicals start to filter through to food, medicine, and everything else.
All right, we got 20 seconds to play with here. The market volatility we saw yesterday. Today we saw a little bit of a respite as far as selling is concerned, but we're not done with this, right?
No, I think going forward we have to get more and more concerned about volatility. Just understand that we're heading into the storm. How it plays out, I don't know the exact whens, but I do think that from a historical perspective, what we face is massive currency issues. I would highly recommend James Rickards' latest book, Aftermath. Great rundown on what is happening on the currency side.
All right, well, great rundown here, sir. Our market call tonight. Once again, congratulations on your past picks. I know our viewers were quite impressed. Take care.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Folks, always consult a qualified financial advisor before you make any investment decisions. Have a great night.
Always happy.